Howdy, folks. Waldo again. I just wanted to come and talk about something that I was a little bit concerned with when I saw it. It was a video posted by that there Tim Pool fellow. He's an interesting one. Uh, Never takes off that hat, which is interesting. But anyway, he was talking about this news story where he saw where some people were trying to tell other people that 2 plus 2 equals 5. Now, Waldo for Tofler right here. I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed, but I can tell you that 2 plus 2 most certainly does not equal 5. And I think it's a sign of something very nefarious. Now, me and my brother, for the longest times, we've been, I guess, kind of, him more so than me, have been conspiracy nuts, which I hate that phrase because, well, one, it's kind of redundant. Usually you say, I'm into conspiracies. Oh, you must be a nut. So, you usually don't have to say the second part. But a few years ago, goodness, it was, I don't know, 2014, 15, it was one of those, doesn't matter. Not important. Is he kind of got trapped by something, and essentially, kind of what I thought, should have been beyond a good conspiracy theorist mind that my brother Bradley has. He shouldn't have fallen for it, but he fell for it. And it was the flat earth conspiracy. And again, I will tell you this right now, there is a flat earth conspiracy, but it's got nothing to do with the shape of the planet. And again, I know it's not round, it's an ellipses. Whatever, right? Look, it was a mind virus. Because you see, the thing is it has nothing to do, because whether or not our planet's a big blue marble or whether it's like an island in space like Super Mario Galaxy doesn't matter. It really doesn't change which roads you take to get to the market. Now, the thing that stuck out to me had to do with rejecting science. It's like, well, all the science they're doing is nonsense. We can't use traditional physics because the scientists are all in on it. They're trying to deceive us. And again, if we got to make our own physics. And I'm thinking, Charlie, the same physics that, the scientists are using are based on the physics that have been, built up years and years and years and years. And goodness, I don't think you're going to come up with, if you were to actually invent physics, you'd invent the same thing again. But here's the thing. If the conspiracy community doesn't believe in physics, how are they going to fact check any claims made by the government? They're not. They're not going to know anything. And that's because Flat Earth was a conspiracy. It was a mind virus perpetuated to the conspiracy community to completely defang them and make them no threat to no one, because they're a bunch of silly willy cultists. Don't know what they're talking about. Don't even think gravity works, because it's nonsense. And again, that's what happened. And it took a while for me to convince my brother that you've completely missed it. You've fallen for it. You've fallen for the story. And again, conspiracy theorists these days are written off. I mean, they were written off before, but they're written off even more so now. Now, to circle around back to the 2 plus 2 5 business, right? Let's move back up to 2020. I think it's Flat Earth 2.0. Now, I hear the term woke used. I don't know if woke is really what the whole thing is, or if it's just part of it or tangential. Doesn't matter. When I first started hearing people in companies using the term woke, I assume insomnia became a problem, which, it's like, oh, are you woke? I'm woke. I have a real problem sleeping. Have to read a book. Well, doesn't matter. Even though I just, rambled about it a little bit. Sorry, I get distracted. But here's the thing, is what they're doing is they're trying to, so for a lot of people, being called racist is a fate worse than death. Because again, no one wants to be that. It's an awful thing to be. So again, if you tell someone something's racist, they'll drop it like it's radioactive, right? So what if someone starts going around perpetuating that math is racist? And that's what this 2 plus 2 equals 5 thing. They're trying to say that math or arithmetic as we understand it is a construction of colonialism or imperialism or just a European white supremacist idea, which I can tell you right now, again, I'm not the sharpest arrow in the quiver, but I will tell you they knew how to do math in ancient Greece. They knew how to do math in Egypt. Look at their giant triangle buildings, the pyramids. You kind of have to know a little something about something to be able to build these big, amazing structures and have these advanced kingdoms. So again, no. And again, also math, numbers, they're Arabic numbers. The Europeans adopted the Arabic numbers. It was the Arabs in the Middle East that essentially made math. So again, in many ways, math is about as unwhite as things can get, right? So, but that's not what it's about, because it has nothing to do with whether who invented math and whether there's a racial aspect of the number 4. There isn't. It has to do with convincing people that math is bad and to not use math. Because what happens if you don't believe math works? It's the exact same thing that happened to the flat earth folks, right? Is what they do is science ceases to work. If you don't believe basic arithmetic, if 2 plus 2 equaling 4 is a concept you cannot, agree with, how are you going to be able to do chemistry? How are you going to be able to do physics? How are you going to be able to do your own taxes or count money, save up money, run business? You can't. You are completely, just lose all agency in this world. And you see, back in time when we had, kings and lords ruling the world. And when I say lord, I don't mean lord with a capital L. I mean, lord as in like someone who owns land, like a landlord, if you will. Now, what would happen is back then, literacy was the thing. So, lots of people were illiterate. They couldn't read. And you had to read the Bible to know how to go to heaven or not. Because if you didn't know what the Bible says, I could walk out the door and be committing a sin and I wouldn't know. So again, they had to rely on the church or people, better than them in society to read it to them, and they had to take their word for it. So as such, the peasantry would always be dependent on the elite classes, serfdom, as you will. That's how feudalism worked. Now, again, today we're all literate. So you're not going to be able to convince people that literacy is bad. Hopefully not. But they can convince math is bad because not everyone's great at math. Lord knows I'm not. So if you convince the masses that math is evil, then what are they? They can't do nothing. They're completely dependent on the elite classes. What all this is that I think's going on, because again, let me tell you something. It's the exact same thing I told my brother back then. It's like, Bradley, you went to a flat earth convention in Raleigh. A convention. Now, do you really believe that if you and your friends had stumbled upon some kind of big world-changing secret exposing the lies of the evil cabal running the world, that they'd let you have a convention? No, they wouldn't let you have a convention. No, they'd fight you tooth and nail to keep your mouth shut. And that's the thing, I bet you anything that it's the government themselves who paid for the dang convention. And just like today, all these people that are protesting, wanting to have a revolution, they're thinking, well, we're going to change the status quo. The people, the folks on top been keeping us down for too long, right? Well, right. Almost immediately, these giant companies, Amazon, Google, and such, said, you go, thumbs up, folks. And I'll tell you this right now, if the establishment likes what you're doing, you ain't changing nothing. Oh no, you're just entertaining them because they got some other plan. And I think what the plan is because what happened when they started tearing down the statues? I mean, at first it was the Confederates, but that was kind of a Trojan horse. It was really about Washington and Jefferson the whole time. Because what is it that they did? That's right. They, get ready for it, rejected monarchical rule. See, the King of England used to rule the American colonies, but thanks to the Revolution, they kicked monarchism out, and we don't do monarchy. And that's what's trying to be happening. Now, what did they do at them sports events? It used to be, when the national anthem does, you put your hand over your heart. But now, people kneel, right? Now, the thing about kneeling is it's not a sign of disrespect. It's still prostrating yourself. But you know what you kneel in front of? You kneel to kings. That's right. And that's what they want us to do, is they're trying to condition us to accept monarchy again. They're trying to turn people back into peasants by convincing them that math is racist. And again, deranging everyone, making them stupid so that we become the new peasantry. We become completely dependent on the higher classes. And then what do? You can't be someone that comes here with no money in your pocket but knows how to make a good tortilla, opens up a restaurant, people like the restaurant, you make a bunch of money, look at that, you've got a whole franchise, you're a millionaire now. You can't do that if math doesn't work and stuff like that. So again, it's a way to keep people down. And that's the thing, I guess my ultimate message is, don't let them convince you that being knowledgeable is racist. History is not racist. Math is not racist. Being knowledgeable is not racist. Being knowledgeable is power. The more you know, the more powerful you are, and the more you can control your own destiny. Again, the king don't control your destiny. The government don't control your destiny. I'll tell you who controls you. I'm not even sure. Well, they say, does God control your destiny? Well, no, God gave humans free will so we could control our destinies, folks. So that's just what I want to say. Someone tells you that 2 + 2 = 5. Well, there's some kind of, they're a snake in the grass trying to turn you into a peasant or a slave or what have you. Don't listen to them, folks. You get out there, you get yourself educated, read a dictionary or what, keep your calculators handy because it's very important to know math. And it's not good to not be knowledgeable. It's good to be knowledgeable. So that's my ultimate message that I want to give to folks. Have a good one.